Hello guys, hope all of you are well in this difficult situation. Welcome to my lecture series. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Rinki Bhaumik, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, JIS College of Engineering. Today's lecture is for first year. For first year, the paper name is Physics 1 and the paper code is EH101. The name of the paper is Physics 1 and 3 credits. There will be 3 lectures per week. Total 36 number of lectures will be there for all of you. This is for BTech first year as I said. Now let me show you your syllabus. This is your syllabus. First, this is module 1. In module 1, there is waves and oscillation. In module 2, there is classical optics where we have to discuss about interference of light and diffraction of light. In module 3, there is quantum mechanics 1 where we'll discuss about quantum theory and quantum mechanics. In module 4, there is solid state physics 1 where we'll discuss about crystal structure and semiconductors. And in the last module, that is module 5, we'll discuss about modern optics where there is laser and fiber optics. So this is your syllabus and these are some books which is recommended for all of you. On laser. The full form of laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. The word laser, the full form is stimulated emission, light amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation. Lasers are essentially highly directional. Its intensity is very high, monochromaticity also high, and it is highly coherent optical sources. Now, stimulated emission was postulated by Einstein as early as in 1917. In 1960, a solid-state Ruby laser is developed by Meyman on this principle. Next, helium neon laser also was developed by Ali Javan. Now, what is the basic principle of laser? To understand it, we have to discuss about absorption, spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. Now, what is absorption? If the atoms are in the ground state and any external photon incident on it, then the atoms will get excited and will jump to the higher energy level. This is called absorption. Next is spontaneous emission. Spontaneous emission is nothing but here if an atom is on the higher energy level. Now when the atom jump from higher energy level to lower energy level, then a photon emits. This is called spontaneous emission. This is called spontaneous because there is no other stimulation, external stimulation, but it happens spontaneously. That's why it is called spontaneous emission. Next is stimulated emission. This is different from the spontaneous emission because in normal case all the atoms jump from the higher and to lower energy level, and at that time it emits photon. But in case of stimulated emission, when an external photon incident on the atom which is on the higher energy level, in that case the transition occurs from higher to lower energy level by emitting two photons. That means by giving one photon, here we are getting two photons. That means the intensity will increase. That's why the full form is light amplification, means the intensity of light increases, that means the energy increases. So this is called stimulated emission. Now there may be a question that what are the differences between spontaneous emission absorption and stimulated emission. In that case the differences may be like, in case of absorption the atoms absorb energy. In case of spontaneous emission the atoms jump from higher to energy level to lower energy level by emitting photon. In case of stimulated emission the atoms jump from higher to lower energy level, in that case while we are giving one photon we are getting two photons. This is the basic difference between these three cases. Another difference is, in case of absorption there is no scope of intensity increasing. In case of spontaneous emission also there is no chances of getting intensity increasing, but in case of stimulated emission the intensity increases here. So this is a basic difference, and also this figure also you can give as a difference. Next, the process of exciting the atom to higher energy level by absorbing the stimulating incident photon is known as stimulated absorption of radiation. Okay, so the process of exciting the atom to higher energy level by absorbing the stimulating incident photon is known as the stimulated absorption of radiation. The transition of an excited atom by itself to lower energy level is known as spontaneous emission of radiation. Okay, so the definition is given also here, that the transition of an excited atom by itself to lower energy level is known as spontaneous emission. The excited atom, after getting stimulated by the incident photon, transits to lower energy level by emitting photon is known as stimulated emission of radiation. Means when you are giving you are giving an external photon with incident on the atom, then after getting that it will get excited and it will emit two photons. So from this figure is given here, from 1 h nu we are getting 2 h nu, means two photons. So by emitting photons is known as stimulated emission of radiation. So these differences also you can use as a, this definition you can use also as a difference. Now this is the last one, kinds of lasers. Okay, all the lasers we don't have to know elaborately, but we have to know the name of the lasers. Okay, so among the various kinds of lasers, some important types of lasers are listed, like solid state laser, this is ruby laser; gas laser, that is CO2 laser, helium neon laser; and liquid laser, that is europium laser; and next is dye, that is marine dye laser; semiconductor laser also is there. But we have to know elaborately about the ruby laser and the helium neon laser. Rest of the lasers we don't have to know elaborately, you just know the names, that's enough. Now on our next class we'll discuss about ruby laser and helium neon laser. Before that, I want to discuss one more question with all of you, that is, what are the properties of laser? This third point if you go through, then you can understand here that it is highly directional. This is one point. Another point is it is highly intense. Highly intense means here intensity is high because it is highly directional, and intensity high because here stimulated emission occurs. That means by giving an external photon on it, we can increase the energy, means we can increase the intensity, that's why it is highly intense. And highly monochromatic means single wavelength, it has only one wavelength, that is near about 6000 angstrom. And also it is highly coherent optical sources. Laser sources are always coherent because it has same wavelength, and it has also constant phase difference, which are the basic criteria for the coherent optical sources. So these points you can use as the highly directional, highly intense, highly monochromatic, highly coherent. These 4 points you can use as the properties of the laser. Okay, so you must go through these things which we have discussed today, and if you have any question you must ask. So thank you for today. Today we are going to start a new chapter, laser. The full form of laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So the spelling is LASER. L stands for light, A for amplification, S for stimulated, E for emission, and R for radiation. So this is about the light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Now amplification means, in general, as we know, that it's nothing but the increasing. Okay, so light amplification means increasing of energy of light, okay, by stimulated emission. Before it we heard about the spontaneous emission, but we never discussed before about stimulated emission. Now what is stimulated emission, that also we have to know. So this is about the laser. Now how laser works, before that we have to discuss about the properties or the characteristics of the laser. So what are the characteristics? First is monochromaticity. This is the first characteristics of laser. So a laser beam is more or less in single wavelength. Okay, when the wavelength is same, means one wavelength is there, then it is called as monochromatic light. Okay, so this monochromaticity is present in laser light. It has single wavelength, that is the line width of laser beams are extremely narrow. Here the wavelength spread of conventional light sources is usually 1 to 10 to the power 6, but in case of laser light it is 1 to 10 to the power 15, 1 to 10 to the power 15. So this is nothing but the spread of the wavelength spread. Okay, the wavelength spread. And this is single wavelength. Here the degree of non-monochromaticity has been expressed as epsilon equal to d lambda by lambda equal to d nu by nu, where d lambda is the variation in wavelength and d nu is the variation in frequency. Now then our next point is directionality. So what is directionality? When means suppose this is a laser light. Okay, so it emits light only in one direction. If this is the source, then it will go through only in one direction. It doesn't spread over in all over space. Okay, it always travel in one direction. That's why it is called as directionality. That's why the laser communication has been carried in between Earth and Moon. In between Earth and Moon, we use the laser light. Our third point is coherence. This is a very new term to all of you, I'm sure. Coherence. Now, what is coherence? When the wavelength is same and also the phase difference or the phase is same, then it is called as coherent sources. So when two source has the same wavelength and the phase also is same phase difference, then since it is called coherence, that's why the laser light has the property of coherence. Now there are two classes of coherence. First is spatial coherence and another is temporal coherence. There are two classes. The first one is spatial coherence. Another is temporal coherence. Now the fourth point is brightness. Fourth point is brightness. What is brightness? When a laser beam is highly bright as compared to the conventional lights, because more light energy is concentrated in a small region, because in the first characteristics we had discussed about the directionality, means it doesn't spread in all over all region. So that's why it is concentrated in one direction. That means that's why the brightness is very high than the other light. So that the light from an ordinary lamp, more or less it spread in all directions, and it has been also observed that the intensity of laser light is almost 10,000 brighter than the normal light. Okay, so that's why the brightness is very high for the due to directionality. Due to directionality, the brightness is very high. Now, these are the properties of laser. which we have to remember well. Now we will discuss about spontaneous and stimulated emission. Spontaneous and stimulated emission. Spontaneous emission means, suppose there are two energy levels. Okay, this is suppose E1 and this is suppose E2. Now initially when an atom is in the ground state, now if we give some photon on it, then what will happen? It will absorb this energy and it will just transition occurs from E1 to E2. It will transfer from E1 to E2. So this process is called absorption. This process is called absorption. Now after the absorption, what will be the figure? This atom will be here in E2 state and this is E1 state. Next, this atom will come to E1 after emitting this photon. This is called emission. Okay, this photon, when this atom jump from E2 to E1, it will emit some energy. That energy is nothing but that photon. This emission of photon is called spontaneous emission. Now why it is called spontaneous? Because it happens spontaneously. Okay, there is no another stimulation by which this emission occurs. No stimulation process by which this emission process occurs. So that's why it is called spontaneous emission. Now if we go for the stimulated emission, in that case what happens? Suppose there are three energy levels. This is E1, this is E2 and this is E3. Okay, so in that case a photon having energy h nu12. H nu12 means, this is suppose 1, this is 2. That means the h nu12 is the energy difference between these two energy levels. So this energy is, if we apply on an atom which is present already in E2 energy level, suppose this atom is present in E2 energy level. Now if we apply another photon on this atom, then due to that, in case of transition, instead of one photon, there will be emission of two photons. There will be the emission of two photons. But here, when the transition occurs from E2 to E1, only one photon is ejected from the atom. But in case of here, due to when a photon is applied here, when an atom is applied here, then from one photon, there we are getting two photons. So that's why it is called stimulated emission. So the emitted photon is in phase with the incident photon. The two photons travel in the same direction and they possess the same energy and frequency. These two photons have the same energy and same frequency. So that's why these are called coherent sources actually, because they have the same phase difference and they have the same wavelength also. This type of emission is called stimulated emission. Now let me tell you about what are the differences between spontaneous and stimulated emission. The first one is it is polychromatic. But it is only monochromatic. The next point is it has less intensity. But it has high intensity. Third point is it has less directionality. But it has high directionality. So these are few differences between them, that is spontaneous and stimulated emission. So thank you for today. You must go through this theory about spontaneous stimulated emission and also about the properties of laser.
Principles and working of a laser. In our earlier session, we have learned different characteristic properties of lasers. Now, let us learn about the principles of working of laser.
Generally, laser works in the form of process that consists of four important processes.
They are 1. Absorption, 2. Spontaneous emission, 3. Pumping and population inversion, and 4. Stimulated emission of electromagnetic radiation.
Now let us discuss about the processes that take place in the atoms in detail.
Absorption.
It is well known that an atom consists of different energy states.
Let us consider two energy states of an electron. Let us say ground state as Eg and excited state as Ex.
When electromagnetic energy falls on an atom in the form of light photon of frequency nu,
whereas electromagnetic energy is equal to the difference of
Eg minus Ex is equal to h nu. When its energy falls on the electron, it absorbs the energy and jumps from ground state Eg to excited state Ex.
Spontaneous emission. As we already said, electrons jump from ground state to excited state.
But the excited electron that jumped to higher energy state doesn't remain for longer period in that state, and it comes back to its original ground state by losing its energy in the form of photons.
The photons don't have any correlation in phase and thus considered as incoherent light.
Thus, the release of energy by electrons on their own is known as spontaneous emission. Transition of electrons from one state to another state occurs randomly in time.
Spontaneous emission is defined as the process in which the electrons in the excited atoms are released on their own from their higher energy state to the ground state.